Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Let's see. I just asked Kevin to drive the bus here today, and he took us in. I just want to refresh this and make sure that done everything correctly here. Welcome back to our fun little recap. Hey, there we go. Good to see that Stuart's making some progress getting the engine back up and running. Very pleased to see the data points and stuff that he's producing here. Fascinating to see. Look how the breadth of the market is just completely flatlined here. And we're seeing that right across the board on a lot of assets. Really, we're at almost like an inflection point. We either get a whole bunch more new stimmy, and I think the whole damn orgy continues to the upside, more hyperinflation, higher stock prices, higher commodity prices, higher land prices. The thing just keeps going, and it's just, it's a runaway train. Or this might be the inflection point where things break and asset prices start coming off in earnest and the bubble starts unwinding. Frankly speaking, I'm not going to get into the business of predicting. I haven't got a fucking clue what's going to happen here. I will say that I do believe it's in the banksters' best interest to try and inflate the economy and inflate the world balance sheet as much as possible to make the current debt situation relative to things like GDP more manageable. Unfortunately, what that really means is everybody in the world has to take a massive standard of living cut. And, you going and having to pay 2, 3, 4 times the price for your groceries and utilities and everything in your society, just about now used cars. You have to go and pay that multiple. That is the banker's tax that I make reference to. So here we are. It's interesting. We also probably over the next 5-10 years have to figure out what the new reserve currency of the world is going to be, what the hegemony proxy is, what they're going to sort of continue to dilute on a regular basis to keep the banker's tax going. As well, too, this works really nicely for democratically elected politicians because they can continually overpromise, underdeliver, spend more money than they have, never meet tax revenues, never balance budgets. The banksters are perfectly happy. The only problem is that once every 40 years, there's going to be one of these big resets. And the people that are living through this time period, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout. I'm telling you why. If you're loud, they're going to come for your money. They're going to come for your assets. If you're really loud, like somebody like the guy who just recently passed, McAfee, and a lot of people kind of think that, hey, he was so loud that other people in this world said, you know what, he has to be removed. Anyway, just buyer beware, caveat emptor. Hopefully we all just remain very small fish in really, really big ponds and nobody really gives a shit about controversial concepts that the Beamish is squawking on about. But it is what it is. I do think that we're coming up to a pretty big inflection point. And I also think that 2022, 2023 is going to be sort of a great sort of unwinding of whatever the heck this monstrous insanity has been over the past couple of years. So enjoy it while it lasts. We're banging out some doubles. Some assets that we were fortunate to get in off of are starting to move back up again, especially within the crypto space. So make hay while the sun's shining, right? Ring the register, make sure to pay yourself, and of course, pay your taxes. All right, so all rants aside, middle of the summer, breadth is flatlining. We're waiting for politicians to do something. The politicians are saying, man, we're not going to do anything. So, do we sit here and just tread water for another couple weeks until they come back and we do see whether they do something? Maybe. It could be. We talked a little bit about rising wedges usually are bearish on the US dollar index. You can see the very noticeable empire top that could potentially come in here. Boom, boom, boom. If we trade black below through this low candle, then I think that sell signal fires. But notice all we've done is just an inside bar here today. Everybody's just sort of waiting. And if anything, when you get these inside bars, it makes it really easy. Trade up through that high tomorrow, inside bar, that's a buy signal. And this actually becomes like nothing more than sort of lower highs or higher lows and higher highs, etc., squiggly lines and all that. Or the fractal fires, we go through this low tomorrow. And yeah, we could get into some serious fireworks. We'll see how it goes. Nothing really to do here, and today is a doji day. Big hurry up and do nothing. So we'll see how that plays out. That'll definitely dictate direction over the next few days. It was interesting. Even somebody mentioned on a Twitter feed, hey, interesting looking crude oil market here. I will say that if you were going to be hunting tops, I mean, gee whiz, that's an awfully good looking top, eh? We've got the M, we've got the breakdown confirmation, got the counter trend rally right into reload zones. Now you've got the empire top failure. Terrible trade location here, though. But interesting how that empire top trade location fires here, and the original M top structure, boom, 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 fires here. Hey, wow, what a surprise. That's probably a pretty darn important level. A lot of sort of clothesline trader guys, they probably would rather be short like from this level here, but nonetheless, I can understand people being a little bit leery about crude right now. It's interesting to see how they're trying to bring the stock market back here, and my hunch is that they're kind of connected. Well, we all know that they're basically risk proxies together. I think they're highly connected. So if the Fugazi is still going on and they're going to take stock prices higher, my hunch is crude oil prices go higher with it. Kind of talked yesterday about big rally in the bond market on the break in that crude. Kind of the bonds are kind of hoping, hey, you know what, maybe we're still a bull. Mr. Bond King's probably breathing a huge sigh of relief here, but this could very easily turn into a big fat M here. Up, down, up, see you later. Oh boy. And if that's the case, that can turn into a train wreck, and that's basically predicated that on the Fed and the banksters and all that. They're not ready to take the economy down. They still want the economy to be fluffy and uppy and print more stimmy and all that kind of crap, right? And from what I understand, coming out of Florida, like right now, they've got like all-time cases and things are just out of control there. So I think they're going to get the justification for more stimmy and more panic. Free money and all that, which would mean that these bonds could be in really big trouble. They're not now. Like I said, Mr. Bond King's been enjoying sort of a reprieve over the past month or two here. But watch for that M. If that M comes in, Mr. Bond King better run for cover. It was interesting because one of our site people, we have a show that we do on, well, not a show, a club that we have on Tuesday nights. Secret Options Formula Club, and we talk about everything under the sun. But it was interesting. One of the trades David pointed out about a month or two ago, I didn't really like it because there just wasn't that much capital gain to be made. But he pointed out there's double bottom, and in the Canadian bonds, you can really see it. So that trade's just been working away here. But man, that's a flimsy bottom. I mean, maybe it holds. Sure hope for people who are heavily indebted, this level does hold. Because if it doesn't hold, oh boy, all hell's going to break loose. But I got to hand it to David. It was a nice call. It was a ballsy call coming in sort of bullish at this level on the price chart. So that's probably not where I want to show you that. It's going to screw up all those charts. That's supposed to be my ES chart. And you can already see it. Like about once every 2 or 3 months, I have to go and cull all the charts out and take it right down to basics. And you can start to see the charts are starting to build up again. Uh-oh. Like I don't need to keep this one open all the time. You guys all know this story. Put that away. This is an interesting one. Sort of what does this current greed cycle look like? It started the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. Fascinating how we're kind of just marching right along that baby boomer type market, which means this is why I really like stocks. I mean, if we're going to get a correction, it's probably going to look like that, not really too deep. And then, this was into the 1987 bull market. I mean, this 2-3 year period, oh my God, the amount of money made in the market was just over the top. So that's actually what I think is coming forward in the next, 5 years. First, we probably need to clean up what we've gone through here recently. But, you could even see just this simple comparison to the baby boomer cycle. Sometimes these markets can just chug along for month after month after month and then break, kind of like what we had last go round. Everybody's expecting the break and it just keeps grinding and grinding and then it breaks, right? So, I mean, I've said this repeatedly. The Fed right now is basically said we're backstopping the economy and the market as long as the sickness is around. We will be there to save the day. And I got a funny feeling that's exactly what's going to keep continuing to happen here. Japanification. I love that term because that's what I think what's going to happen to our Western society. So, middle of the summer. Interesting action in the stock market. A little bit of a head fake to start the day lower. Did spend a lot of time talking to the community about what I'm hearing kind of news-wise about all these electric vehicles being sold in China. And, of course, the whole Chinese capitalism game is half of a fugazi. So if you know how to stay ahead of the fugazi and not take no wooden nickels kind of thing, you might consider, like the numbers coming out of here are just stunned. I'd sort of said 50% of world's electric vehicle sales coming out of China. 50%, that's a big number. I was a bit surprised by that. And this is what really surprised me, was, and you can see, the local players, they're just enjoying 125% increase year over year. This LI, 228% increase. They're just having a great old time. But something doesn't smell right about this. They said that Tesla here, we did a little research, and it turns out that on a quarterly basis, Tesla, they said they distributed 200,000 vehicles into the market. But there's one line in this article that really surprised me, and it said, "What the hell is it? It might be this article, or it might be a different one." They said that 98% of all vehicles that Tesla made last quarter were delivered into that Chinese market, and yes, they're producing, these companies are, they're selling a lot of vehicles, and the growth, here it is here. Of the overall deliveries Tesla reported this past quarter, 98% were made in China. So Tesla says, yeah, we delivered, 200,000 vehicles. Look how much we're growing. 98% of them went to China. And of course, we know that China very easily just said, look, we're going to give you a purchase order for 1 million of your crazy vehicles and space it out over, say, I don't know, the next 4 years or something like that, maybe 2 million vehicles or something. CCP, government controlled, they just make the purchase order. And in exchange, of course, you're going to give us all your wonderful technology, and we're going to replicate it, and we're going to prop up these local companies to basically be your competition. Tesla says, well, it's a fair deal. I get to keep reporting these numbers Wall Street want to see. But something just does not smell right about that 98%. So that means that of the 200,000 vehicles, Only 4,000 vehicles were sold to the rest of the world. The rest of the world, the whole US market, everything. Something doesn't smell right about this, folks. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't smell right. I talked with the community today about this growing concern I have. Ironically enough, and we saw this in the 87 market. This, first off, this thing might just churn away, keep going, drive everybody crazy. But the point being that I would say is in 87, just as illustration purposes, and if I go DJI, in 87, kind of blabbing here, but what the hell? I mean, it's not a hell of a lot going on in the market today. In 87 here, right? There's big thumping. And this is what I'm kind of worried about. Where are we? Are we doing one of these kind of things? We're just going to grind our way higher and then kaboom. But, I mean, we just do a very simple 50% rule off of like the 1980, 1970 lows, whatever. And gee whiz, you can see it. 50% rule, that's all that was. It was just a doink right into 50% rule. This was not a crash. This was nothing more than just a healthy technical correction. So, connect the dots. We look at today. I guess what I do, SPY. This is just a 52-week range. Maybe that's the floor. Maybe we got to go off of the previous low. I don't know. How risky is this market getting? I'll tell you, folks. Just even this megaphone right here, 1, 2, 3 tags. This thing's lit. If it wants to break, there is the 50% rule. This shit happens all the time. And even right now, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't even know if it's going to happen. But you have to understand that naturally, this is actually what does happen on a very regular basis. So if we go down maybe tag mountain, man, I mean, gee whiz, we're talking, there's 20% correction. Actually, I guess we'd go off of here, right? We'd say just there, beg your pardon, there's 16, 17% correction. Talk about gaps needing to get filled. Hate to say it, me personally, I would say that the statistical odds are that we got to go do this down here. I don't know whether that sets up off of this megaphone or maybe a bigger pattern. Who knows? Actually, I do kind of like that megaphone tag of 38.2s there. That does make sense to me. And if anything, that also makes sense because this will be nothing more than just a technical correction. And then, maybe we just climb the wall of worry and make new highs down the road. That's very realistic. So just, be aware. There's a lot of funny stuff going on in the market right now that concerns me. Interesting, the stuff that I'm buying in the marketplace right now. I went and bought one pharmaceutical stock, which usually does okay when the economy is kind of in the pooper, and one pharma name that I'm seriously watching. I haven't pulled the trigger yet on, but it just goes to show these are kind of defensive, out of favor. I really do like this MT. I've told you guys about it before. I mean, that's, longer channel, bigger run. There's tons of money to be made on there. But that is not sort of, got these big sort of TV stocks that I wanted to take a stab on. They're not turning back up. If anything, that's a big friggin' bearish empire that just fired there. This thing's still pointing down. And then I was even talking about, some of the sort of hotel and REIT names. They're starting to top out here. Airline stocks that we played on the upside, they've topped out. So it's not this kind of stuff. This stuff, there is no bull market here right now. But, there are parts of the market that I really like that, interesting. The commodities actually look okay here. I'm not the biggest fan of commodities. So this one I really do like. Here's another pharma name that I think is trying to bottom. Look at that beautiful little W, and that's a nice W within a W. That'd be like sort of one of David O's Adam and then Eve bottoms. Really good looking pattern. You tell me, has this thing got any room to move up here? That's crazy. So, I mean, this is nuts. It just keeps going and going. I mean, I don't know where the hell the damn top is, but there's probably a pretty good chance that I could double my money if this thing has any kind of pop. So those are the kind of places that I'm putting money to work in right now. This Idera, this is one that I bought today as well. Look at that chart. Oh, goodness. So, there's that kind of stuff. Over in crypto, having a lot of fun getting doubles off on good fundamental names that the community actually really liked fundamentally, and of course technically beautiful setups. So I got paid nicely on this bad boy. In fact, actually, this was the tweet I put out today. Fudge! Come on, you. There we go. Oh, geez. That's fine. So, I do like the idea, kind of like those pharma names and stuff. I like this as a, in this particular case, a coin pickers market. And what I mean by that is you find good fundamental stories, find good technical setups, and gee whiz, there's some really good money to be made in here. I know, for instance, Kevin was telling us a little bit about one particular name that he likes, that one. And I was even telling to the community, I hope you can see that this GRT is quite literally exactly what Luna looked like maybe a month or so ago. So I'm very impressed with, TRI's ability to go out and find these names before they take off. That's the key to making money at this, is you got to be interested in this name when it looks like this. When it looks like this, you've missed the trade. You got to be actually selling and taking profits. That's very hard for new people to trading to do. So hats off to the community. Hats off to Kevin. Of course, I think very highly of Kevin. I think he's going to do very well in this world. And hats off to the TRI community. Like, this is the kind of stuff we're focused in on right now. So get out there and shop, find me a good fundamental story, find me a good chart. I've been barking about that band. I like him. That's a really interesting one. You can see how close the W's are to breaking out. Hasn't quite broken out just yet, but keep an eye on him. And interestingly enough, when it comes to the big stuff, there's just not much going on here that a guy, there's no way in hell I am ever going to buy the S&P 500 with it looking like this. And it might just continue grinding its way higher. It just might. But I can't be a buyer up here. I just can't. I would much rather go and try and buy like the Ideras or that PHIO down the bottom end of his range. Well, same kind of thing with crypto and Bitcoin. You're just not, Moon Boys. Actually, it was really cool. I had lunch with one of our TRIOGs. In fact, actually, he's a principal, I think, now at that Hero Exchange. He is an OG of TRIs and an alum of the school, and actually even has like a trading room on this site. But I had lunch with him yesterday, which was really nice. And he actually was in Vancouver just very briefly, and there we are having lunch together with he and his fiance, and hopefully, of course, they made it back to Toronto in one piece. But he had a comment yesterday, which I thought was so cool. He goes, I'm a bull just by heart, and of course, and being part of, I think, is company's called Magnus, if I'm not mistaken. They do really, really well at Crypto's a bull. But we've been in correction mode, and I've been kind of like, technically speaking, I've been thinking a bear unless this level's been taken out, which it has. Congratulations, Bitcoin. So what it does mean is if this is a bear, then I'm going to have to see a whole new sort of bearish pattern set up here. And actually, we can take off a lot of these patterns here. Boom, 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 boom. So that's encouraging because it was getting awfully frustrating talking bear forever there. We haven't really turned in bull in earnest, in my opinion, on the corn. And if anything, I would actually prefer it stay that way because as soon as this thing turns bull, then it probably means that most of the altcoins and that kind of stuff are going to take a pause.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the rationalinvestor.com.
I'm thinking like neutral. Neutral's okay. Switzerland's not a bad country. So gonna play at this trend line. Well, I have a simple rule that we'll know that this is a bull if we see a W on the other side of this trend line. That's cool, but it's not there now. And get in there and have fun on the Lunas, right? And like this band, and I got a big old list of shit coins, and please understand, you buy the shit coins, you're buying shit. Don't get me wrong; it's the same thing I said to the community here today. But at the same time, too, if somebody sneezes in shitcoin land, if I go and pick up some of this at the reload zones and all that, what's the odds of me seeing this thing? It's 400, 500 sats. What's the odds of me seeing this thing trade to 1,000 sats? If we get into an environment where things like Luna and stuff are going crazy and they're just dragging the spec space higher with them. First, long a ton of this, and TRI, thanks to Sjord, long just a ridiculous amount of this. So we ain't got nothing to complain about at TRI. That's for darn sure. But what I'm kind of hoping happens is that this kind of stuff drags the rest of the market higher, because that's what I think should happen here through August. Is all you got to do is you just got to have one or two of these sort of leaders. And they start going ape shit, and it just drags the whole damn market up with it. Then once Bitcoin goes, hey, enough is enough, I'm the shit here, and they start taking over, then we'll know that the altcoin season is done. So in a weird sort of way, I kind of like the idea that Bitcoin, okay, you just park yourself for the next month or so, and let's go have some fun in altcoin land. So I got off a huge win here today. I'm a happy camper. Got a whole bunch of open orders working. I've been buying a lot of stuff the whole way down. If this stuff starts all sort of triggering, domino effect kind of idea, I'm going to be banging out a ton of doubles through all this. And the interesting thing, too, is this also is starting to be seen in the stock market. So a lot of these little junior crypto names, which, of course, I'm long a ton of, NFT plays, all that kind of stuff. We should have a lot of fun here through the end of the summer if this plays out the way I think it was. Obviously, no guarantees for management. If you're buying the shit coins, you got to understand it's shit. And of course, I'm never going to tell you what to buy. I'll tell you what I am buying. And if I bang out W's, W's. If they bang out W's, I'll be buying. If they bang out doubles, I'll be selling. And of course, reminding you how wonderful of a trader I am. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. All right, everybody, kind of a funny rant, midsummer. If anything, I'm going to go relax in the air-conditioned room in my condo because this silly apartment, I have my office in this second bedroom, and man, it gets hotter than poop in this stupid room, and it's just, I'm going to pass out here. I don't stop talking. Have yourselves a great afternoon, evening. We'll have the TRI SOF club meeting tonight. So it should be fun and see what the boys have in store for new trade ideas. Kevin, of course, will be doing a presentation on the site. I think this is also another NFT ideas. Oh, yeah, I remember I talked about this one breaking up from $1.50. Look at that, Kevin. Oh, jeez. So, whether it be crypto, whether it be these NFT stocks and stuff, you can just feel it. There is some sort of face rip shit coming. I can just feel it coming down the pike here. So I hope you guys are prepared. Hell, if you're not, then maybe consider getting into our education program and build your plan. trying to figure out what actually gets you to act, so you act reasonably and responsibly, and of course you take appropriate risks. If you know what you're doing, man, this is a buyer's paradise. Have some fun here. We should be able to make a fortune this summer. Okay, everybody, have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. All the best. And Kevin, if you could take us on out of here. Bye for now.